Diamonds Are Forever, the seventh entry in the James Bond franchise, marked the return of Sean Connery and a sharp pivot back to glamour, gadgets, and tongue-in-cheek intrigue. Set against the glittering backdrop of Las Vegas, it delivered everything fans had come to expect: high-stakes action, larger-than-life villains, and unforgettable Bond girls. But beneath the film's polished surface lies a lesser-known story. One moment on set that wasn't in the script and whose fallout would ripple far beyond the credits. Released in 1971, Diamonds Are Forever was Sean Connery's big comeback after sitting out on Her Majesty's Secret Service. He returned to the role of 007 for a jaw-dropping fee, reportedly $1.25 million plus a percentage of profits, a massive payday that came at the cost of the film's special effects budget. But producers Albert R. Broccoli and Harry Saltzman weren't worried. They wanted Connery, and they wanted American audiences back after George Lazenby's cooler reception stateside. So they set this Bond film mostly in the U.S., with Las Vegas as its shimmering playground. Directed by Guy Hamilton and based loosely on Ian Fleming's 1956 novel, the story has Bond infiltrating a diamond smuggling ring only to discover his old nemesis, Ernst Blofeld, is alive and well, and cooking up a plan involving a space laser and nuclear blackmail. As plots go, it's bonkers even by Bond standards, but Diamonds Are Forever doesn't live or die by its story. It's the glitz, the gadgets, and the girls that people remember. And two girls in particular left a permanent mark: Jill St. John as Tiffany Case and Lana Wood as Plenty O'Toole. St. John was originally cast as Plenty, but impressed the producers so much during her screen test that they bumped her up to the lead. That left the role of the unlucky showgirl Plenty O'Toole to Lana Wood, sister of the late Natalie Wood. And this is where the drama really kicks in. Lana Wood was assured that her pool toss scene would be shot at night and under tightly controlled conditions. She'd be wearing only sheer underwear and high heels, and the director promised it would be a closed set. But Las Vegas doesn't sleep, and the rooftop pool of the Las Vegas hotel was not exactly private. As she stood there, soaking wet and half naked under the bright lights, she realized dozens of curious onlookers had gathered to watch the filming. It was humiliating, and worse, it wasn't what she had agreed to. To make matters even more awkward, Wood was significantly shorter than Sean Connery, so for most of their scenes together, she had to either stand on a box or wear extremely high heels. But behind the scenes, the real tension wasn't just between Lana Wood and the camera crew, it was between her and Jill St. John. During the shoot in the spring of 1971, both actresses were reportedly dating Connery. The result? A feud that would stretch across decades. When Vanity Fair tried to reunite Bond girls for a 1999 photo shoot, St. John refused to pose with Wood, reducing her to tears. And it got darker from there. Less than 3 months after Natalie Wood's mysterious drowning in 1981, Jill St. John began a relationship with Robert Wagner, Lana's brother-in-law. They eventually married. When Lana publicly accused Wagner of involvement in Natalie's death years later, she claimed she was harassed with threatening calls warning her to back off. Though she didn't believe the calls came from Jill, the association only deepened the rift. In 2016, Lana confronted Wagner at a benefit honoring St. John, reigniting the decades-old drama in front of cameras. As for the film itself, Diamonds Are Forever is full of quirks. It was shot across the U.S., with Vegas scenes filmed in actual hotels owned by Howard Hughes, a close friend of the producers. Hughes even lent his Desert Inn for filming, and his persona was channeled into the character Willard White, played by Jimmy Dean. Dean, ironically, worked for Hughes and felt uneasy portraying a fictionalized version of his boss. There's also the moon buggy chase, filmed at a gypsum plant near Vegas, poking fun at moon landing conspiracy theories. The buggy's wheels literally fell off during filming, and one such blooper made it into the final cut. That buggy later ended up in a farmer's field, before being restored and auctioned for $44,000 to Planet Hollywood. The movie's visual effects were scaled back due to Connery's paycheck, but the filmmakers still delivered big on car chases and chaos, crashing Fords left and right, thanks to a deal with the automaker. Tiffany Case's red Mustang Mach 1 even flips onto two wheels for a sideways escape, though thanks to a continuity error, it enters a narrow alley balancing on one side and exits on the other. Oops. The mortuary sequence? Filmed at the real Palm Mortuary in Henderson, Nevada. Tiffany's stylish home? That was actually Kirk Douglas's house. And the lavish White House? That was the iconic Elrod House in Palm Springs. Musically, the film saw the return of Shirley Bassey, who belted out the sultry title track. This marked her second Bond song after Goldfinger, and she'd return again for Moonraker, making her the only artist to sing 3 official Bond themes. Roger Ebert was not kind in his review. He called the movie a retreat to comic strip Bond and criticized its plot holes and silliness. But the movie was a box office hit, thanks largely to Connery's return and the over-the-top Vegas setting. And speaking of Vegas, one last odd fact. Despite being the central location, the name Las Vegas is never spoken in the film. So what was Sean Connery thinking? Dating both Jill St. John and Lana Wood on the same set? Who knows? But it lit a fuse that's still smoldering decades later. And for Lana Wood, that infamous pool toss wasn't just an embarrassing stunt. It was the opening scene in a long, messy Hollywood saga. Now it's time to hear from you. What do you think was the most outrageous behind-the-scenes moment from Diamonds Are Forever? Was the real-life drama more explosive than anything Bond ever faced on screen? Let's talk about it in the comments.